I'm here in Manchester covering the Swiss World Championships, which are being held in Italy. If this strange year has taught us anything, it's when faced with a crisis just how capable we are of change. Six months ago, in response to the pandemic, workplaces and shops across the world were ordered to close their doors. As a result, roads and streets emptied of cars and fell quiet. That is, until they began to refill with something not seen in numbers for decades: us. Due to necessity and boredom, we began to venture out into this new world, and our senses struggled to cope with what they found. Instead of intently listening for approaching trucks, we were hearing birds and insects. Rather than scanning for a gap in the traffic, we leisurely looked around and perhaps said hello to another disorientated soul. We felt relaxed on our streets and quickly began to adapt. Across the country, key workers who normally rely on trains and buses pulled dusty bikes out of garages to get to their shifts. Essential exercise became something you did on two wheels, and families found they could fill workless hours by rolling around on local roads with their children. I recently rode down a cycle route in my area, and it was packed with people old and young who discovered or rediscovered this simple pursuit. The pandemic had given them a chance to try travelling differently, and they'd found it wonderful. I confess, I shed a tear. Even more exciting, this phenomena was being experienced globally. Around the world, leaders began to realise if people kept riding, they were looking at a solution to some of their biggest and most expensive problems. And it wasn't just global leaders seeing the opportunity. Over in Ireland, Blackrock village councillors decided they were going to turn the circumstances into a community-enhancing experience. They recognised that by making their high street one-way and giving over parking spaces to people, they could create a place that wasn't only COVID safe, but was somewhere the townsfolk wanted to linger. In just 8 weeks, they'd made a space children and families who wouldn't normally dream of cycling in the busy centre felt comfortable enough to pedal to shops and cafes. Of course, not everybody wants to change the status quo, and as the traffic's come back in many places, the fight for space has resumed. Personally, I think we'd be mad not to recognise that during this unsettled time, the bicycle gave us something quite magical and wholly productive. Whether what we experience becomes part of our past or our future is now up to us. As a great man once said, change will not come if we wait for some other person or wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek.